Hi there, YouTube. This is Aisha, and welcome to the review for Better When He's Bold by Crownover. As you know, I'm a huge Crownover fan. I'm a Crownover fangirl. I'm a huge fan of the Marked Men series, and I was really excited to read the series. Welcome to the Point. So I laughed a lot when I saw the cover for this because the cover for Bax is so bold and so fits Bax's character. But as I was reading, I realized this really does kind of fit the character that she's talking about, and I get why she picked his face, even though he's kind of weird looking at first when you see it. But when you read the story, you realize he does kind of fit. Anybody else thinks he reminds you of Veronica Mars? What's that kid? Veronica Mars's boyfriend. Is it Lucas is his name? The one that drives the yellow car. I can't remember his name right now. He kind of reminds me of him. So Better When He's Bold by Crownover came out this month in February 2015. And I purchased it. And it came on the 3rd. And I was excited because they said it was going to be a delay. And then UPS came through and I got my book in the mail. And I was excited. I took 2 days to read this. And the only reason it took 2 days was I didn't want it to finish. I really enjoyed reading this book. Going back to the point, seeing Dovey and Bax and meeting our two new characters, I was really in love with the Point. So when we read the Point before, Bax and Dovey were trying to figure out who it is that set Bax up, who it is that's going after Dovey. In this story, we're getting Bax's best friend's story. So Race is the genius kid from the Hill whose dad is Dovey's father as well. So Dovey's his half-sister. And he did everything he was doing to try to protect Bax as well as to protect Dovey. And it kind of blew up in their faces. His plans went south because he didn't include Bax into it. He was trying to save Bax and Bax didn't know. So Bax being Bax went all crazy. And his name is really Shane, but everybody knows him as Bax. And that's the guy you fear. So Race has taken over as kingpin of the Point. And the Point is kind of like your neighborhood crazy ghetto on steroids, along with Vegas. And I guess like every town has that seedy side, the part no one really wants to discuss. The Point, she never mentions what state the Point is in, so I guess it makes it open to interpretation. You could put it wherever the bad town is in your state, that really seedy area that you really don't drive through if you don't have to. Every town has one, every state has one, some have more than one. So the Point is that area where people, the Hill is where the people with money live, and the Point is where people without money live, and the people in the Point generally work for the people in the Hill. And Race is from the Hill, and his dad is not the nicest guy in the world. And Race becomes best friends with Bax, and Bax saves his life more than once, and gives Race the opportunity to become a adrenaline junkie, because now he's not just living his life on the Hill in this pristine home with all the money he can get. He's now living in the Point and making it by his knuckles and his wit. And people underestimate Race because he looks like this, and they don't think a dude like that can survive in their town. And Race consistently and constantly underestimate Race. And Race has to consistently and constantly be proving himself. So Bryson is a young woman who is best friends with Dovey, and Bryson is dealing with some serious issues of her own. Someone's trying to hurt her, and she doesn't understand that. She doesn't see that at first. And Race happens to pick it up far faster than she does. And of course Bax is thinking if anything's going to come after Bryson, it means someone's coming after Dovey. And Bax ain't having that. So Race now has to find a way to fix the problem before it spills over. And he's trying to protect the Point and keep it from falling to the baddest of the bad. And we get to see Nazir in here, as well as Bax's older brother, who I think is going to be the third story. I don't want to know. I just want the book in my hand and I want to read it. And I think it doesn't come out till next year, which is almost heartbreaking. But Aza is coming out in April or May, so I can deal April. So I can deal with no J Crownover for a few weeks. But yeah, Better When He's Brave is the third one in the series, and it's going to continue the series. I really, really loved that Jay didn't try to solve the issue in this book. I mean, the book isn't big, but she didn't try to solve the issues of the point in this book. She introduced us to the point in Better When He's Brave. Nope, Better When He's Bad, which is Bax's story. She gave us a deeper look at the point in Better When He's Bold. And I think Better When He's Brave is going to be the one that wraps up the story, because there's so many lines and so many pieces that she has to tuck together to make a good story. And this is just... My question to people now is, if you're, as an author, can create these complex characters who have vices, who have flaws, who have issues, who live in the hood, who struggle, and can put a white face to it, why can't you make a character who's black or Native American or Asian or or Hispanic and give them the same complexities? It's funny how these stories are being told and we're hearing from these main characters who aren't exactly the nicest people in the world, or who aren't exactly the cleanest people in the world. They have issues and they have flaws. And some of them deserve to go to jail, and some of them have done stuff that is worse than jail. And they have their own version of justice to justify it. Why are characters like this being written, but none of them can be given the non-stereotypical stance of being black, Native American, white, or Hispanic? Like, I don't know. I just love the fact that these stories are being told, but I really wish that people would understand that, yeah, you can tell the story of, like, Eminem living in the hood, but when he's living in the hood and manages to make it, even though he does bad stuff, the fact that he's on the come up, everybody's okay with it. But when you look at, say, Nas or Jay-Z, everybody still want to give him a side eye and still want to bring that up all the time, like, oh, when he was in the hood, he did this, this, and this, and this. But say Eminem, oh, he came from the hood, but now he's like... You see what I'm saying? Like, when a white person does it, it's okay, but when a black person does it, it's not. It's something to be ashamed of. But when a white person does it to survive, they did it to survive. When a black person does it, it's because they're lazy or they're down or they're whatever. I love the fact that there are complex characters being written who are not the nicest people. And they are not the people without blood on their hands. And they're not people without having done something dirty to survive and doing what they have to do to survive. I love the fact that characters like that are being written. I wish, however, they were more than just monotone. I have no problem with hearing the stories of white people growing up in the hood. But you know who lives in the hood more often than white people? Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, Native American people. They have their own hood. It's called a reservation. It's not pretty. I want authors to give me more complex stories like this. This is a brilliantly complex story. It's not Jane Eyre complex. It's not The Outsiders complex, but it's complex. And it looks